Coming up, I'm going to tell you what I learned after speaking to 2,500 plus quitters, and then the freight rail strike that got averted. What does it tell us about employers and employees? And I'm going to coach you up. Let's go. Welcome to the Ken Coleman Show, helping you win at work and at life. My goal for you to make more income and more impact in your work. More money, more meaning, baby. Let's go. So when I was growing up, my dad and mom, great home, raised in a great home. And my dad would pass along to me all the time a phrase that's been around, who knows how long it's been around, probably since he was a kid, before that. And the phrase goes like this: quitters never win, winners never quit, right? Or maybe you heard it the other way. Winners never quit, quitters never win. However you heard it, the order you heard it, but you go, oh, well, now that's pretty good, Dad. Right? Okay, all right. Pretty straightforward. Winners never quit. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Quitters never win. Yeah, I mean, I get that. Got it, Dad. Don't quit. And it's one of those great little phrases that's half true. At best, that's half true. And you can make that work, but you got to do some mental gymnastics to get it to half true. But I'll go ahead and do that. That's not my point. My point is, this is the idea that we have, and it's in our humanness. If you're doing something and you leave it half finished, there's a sense of guilt about that we all kind of have, and I think it's largely based on acceptance. I really do. This notion that I'm feeling guilty about quitting. I mean, how many times have we had those calls on the show? I don't think they'll ever stop coming in. Ken, I want to quit my job. I know I'm supposed to quit my job, but I feel guilty about it. Why? Did you do something wrong? No. Well, and I always identify for them. You're really not feeling guilty for quitting. You know what you're feeling? You're feeling a little bit of fear of what someone's going to say about you. And they always go, oh, yeah, that's it. All right? So this is my point. The notion that quitting is bad comes from the emotional tie we have to it. Of if I quit, what will others say? What will others think about me? All right. Now I got that out of the way. I've talked to at least 2,500 people on this show or at live events where I'll do live Q&A of people who quit, who want to quit. And so I'm going to tell you, I'm going to break down what I've learned. Okay, but let's first go back to the old phrase that quitting is actually one of the most important things you can do in your life. If you're quitting the right thing, meaning that quitting the thing you should be quitting for the right reason. So I'm quitting smoking. Great. It's a great thing to quit, right? Good for your health. Makes sense. I'm quitting this toxic job. Great. You are taking your mental and emotional health, your professional future into your hands. Good. It's a great quit. I'm going to quit 1 year into this degree that's 4 years, and I don't have the money to pay for it, so I'd have to go into debt, and I don't want to do it. I don't think I need it, and I certainly can't afford it. It's a great quit. It's great. I launched a business on the side and never really took off. And I've tried several different things. I've kind of pressed through the failure, and I've come to the conclusion it wasn't the right product, not the right delivery, not the right time, whatever it is. And it's just continuing to lose money. I'm going to quit that. It's a good thing to quit. All right? So quitting the right thing for the right reason is actually one of the most important things you can do. And as I walk through those things, I hope you see that many successful people, for their health, for their relationship, for their kids, for their future, for their finances, they quit something and life was better. There's no shame in quitting the right thing for the right reasons. But quitting is something that, again, we attach emotional shame to. And then we also get stressed because we go, I know I should quit the thing. We're talking about jobs, but I'm scared about the unknowns attached to the future. And so that's another reason why people don't want to quit. And they make an excuse to go, well, quitting is silly, quitting is risky, quitting is fill in the blank for whatever unwise word you want to use. And again, that's an excuse. So I want to give you the background of what I learned. I jotted some thoughts down. Having talked to thousands upon thousands of quitters, what have I learned? Number one, quitters want something better. They do. They want better health. They want better pay. They want better experience, better relationship. That's why people quit. They want something better. Specifically, as we saw in the Great Resignation, where now 60 plus million people have quit their jobs in this big rush to get a better gig or a better paycheck. Well, that was what they wanted. They wanted a better paycheck. But a lot of them realized, man, that better paycheck doesn't feel better for long. I kind of get used to that. I kind of adapt. I end up blowing it. I'm not saving it. They're looking for a better environment. They're looking for a better future. In other words, a better life. When I speak to leaders, and I get the opportunity to speak to leaders all the time, because from this unique position, I can say, hey, here's how you create a great culture. Here's how you create an engaged workforce. I know, I'm an expert. I talk to people who are leaving leaders every day. And so one of the things I tell them is as a leader, you must understand that the new way to view work and workers is that they are coming to you not for a better job, but for a better life. It's bigger. We're talking about benefits. We're talking about advancement and training that will help them professionally. They're not just coming for a paycheck. And they may not even be able to articulate it that way, but I'm telling you that's what they want, a better life. Number two takeaway, that quitters quit leaders, not companies. They're actually not quitting company XYZ. They may say bad things about the company when they leave, but I'm telling you, ultimately what they're quitting is their direct leader. Their direct leader has tremendous responsibility for their reason for quitting. Now, it could be that the leader did something harmful to them, said something, maybe overlooked them, rejected, meaning not actually harmful, but it's perceived as harmful. If you didn't give me a promotion that I wanted, you overlooked me, you didn't give me a pay raise when I wanted it, people get offended, they get upset, they leave. I get it. So these are the type of things. So at first it's like, oh, the leader did something bad and I don't like them and I'm out, right? So they did something to them that is perceived as a negative or harmful action. Could have been something said, could have been something gross, you know? But I find that it's also people will leave leaders because leaders did not do something for them. Sometimes it's a negative, a specific thing. They did this, I didn't like it. But this other little one is a bit more nuanced. They didn't do something for me, meaning they didn't train me. They didn't invest in me. They didn't believe in me. They didn't give me a shot. They didn't notice me. You see the difference? That's more passive. And the third reason, they often feel guilty, and I talked about that earlier. I'm raising that issue. They feel like they're a bad person for leaving. And fourth, they quit to something new and terrifying, but it's exciting and they want it. This is the Ken Coleman Show.
You were created to fill a unique role through your work, but it can feel overwhelming to figure out what that is. That's why I created the Get Clear Career Assessment. In just 15 minutes, you'll get customized results that clarify what you do best, the work you love to do, and the results that motivate you. All this helps you discover what you were born to do. And you'll get a list of professional possibilities to help you in your job search. To get started, go to kencoleman.com/assessment.
Do you have the gift of gab? You like talking about exciting things that help people? You like a challenge? You like connecting with people? You might want to think about a wonderful and vibrant career in sales. But maybe you go, I don't know. I've never done sales. I never had sales training. I didn't go get a degree in it. I have no experience. You don't need any of that. What you need is Sales 101, the latest course from me and Ramsey Career Academy. We're teaching you how to win in sales. How to win. How to get in and how to win. So that's for someone who's never done it. You want to get in, you want to get hired, or you're in it and you really want to level up. This course is for you, Sales 101. I and Chris Campbell, our Ramsey Solutions Senior Vice President and the best salesperson we got in the building, combined to teach this course. It's very practical, extremely affordable, and extremely effective. RamseySolutions.com/sales course is the website. RamseySolutions.com/sales course. Go get it now. All right. I want to break down the recent threat of a rail strike. And I would also tell you that the news covered it, right? And then it was like, well, they came to an agreement, but that agreement has not been ratified. A little old word that's kind of fancy, and you haven't heard it since the 5th grade in your civics class about ratifying the Constitution. But in other words, there's been an agreement, but it still has to go through a voting process. So the powers that be that were negotiating on the railroad company side, and then the union representatives, they came to an agreement. And they kind of walk out of the room and go, okay, this is what we think is the agreement, but we got to take it to our members, and they got to vote it up or down. And so there is still a threat of a strike. There's no question about this. Why? Members of the International Association of Machinists and Aerospace Workers, District 19, already rejected the agreement. They did, though, agree to postpone the strike until September 29. So basically they're going, we don't agree with this, but we're not going to strike. We'll push that to September 29th, give you more time to get back in the room and cut a deal. So there's more local union districts that are going to need to vote on this. So still a lot of work left to be done. This could come back around. Now, here's why I'm covering this, okay? There's a big takeaway that I'm going to give you leaders. I know I have people here that are leaders, your managers. Maybe you're not the ultimate say, but there's something really vitally important and simple that you need to understand that is so simple. And you can meet this need. You can do this, leaders, and not see an organization get into this kind of crap. Even with unions, as difficult and as sticky as unions are, because it's always us versus them. You know, none of this had to happen. I'm not going to get into all the details, but there's a big wage increase that include payouts and bonuses that are kind of retroactive. But at the heart of this, according to everything I've read and seen, okay, at the heart of all of this is really not money. It's about sick leave. Now, salaries are getting bumped significantly. There's an additional paid leave day a year. So we're talking 1 day a year. Okay. And then this was to me, honestly stunning that the railroads agreed in this latest negotiation to let their workers take unpaid time off for doctor's appointments or medical procedures without being penalized under their attendance rules. Yeah. I read this and folks, I try to readily admit that I'm not the smartest person in any room I go to. This makes my head hurt. I want to make sure you catch it. Plain spoken. I'm going to read it to you. Railroads also agreed to let workers take unpaid time off for doctor's appointments or medical procedures without being penalized under their current rules. What are we doing? I don't understand how we get here. Well, I do, and I'm going to explain it in just a second. But I don't understand this. I mean, just to give you an idea, 95%, so it's between 95 and 96% of employers in the United States offer at least some paid sick days to their employees. Many outsiders, including me, to the industry were shocked to learn that railroad employees, excuse me, did not have this benefit in their contracts. There goes the pesky voice. Now, there's two people to blame here. Okay, certainly the union should have had this in previous negotiations. The union's sole job is to look out for their members. I don't know how they missed this, but as much as I'd love to poo-poo and blame the union members for being doofuses, how is it that we would even have to negotiate for this? If you railroad executives, I would love to, Alex, line them up and walk them into the studio here and have them sit down like this is a court of law and go, hey, can I ask you a couple of quick questions? Okay, great. Yeah. Why is it that you have a problem paying for people's time to go to the doctor or get a medical procedure when almost 96% of American corporations allow this? What was going on? As I said, about 96% of American employers offer some sort of paid sick leave. The number of days does range from 1 day a year to unlimited. But there are industries where still, this is according to Johnny Taylor, the SHRM president, Society of Human Resource Management, said there are still industries where workers have no days designated as sick leave. And I don't understand that. It's like there's a human chip missing with leaders here. Am I right, Alex, or am I overly... I just want to make sure. Am I being unreasonable here? Like, how is it that I don't care what industry that you go, if somebody's really sick, and I don't mean someone who's making up stuff, that'll be readily made available over time. Somebody's lying to you. But I mean, somebody's really sick, and you're not going to let them go to the doctor or give them some paid sick leave? Only 14 states in the United States have laws guaranteeing paid sick leave, and those laws often exclude workers in some industries, including government employees as well as railroad and airline employees. Workers who don't get any sick days tend to be low-wage workers and these working part-time. This is according to Eileen Applebaum, co-director of the think tank Center for Economic and Policy Research, and this pisses me off. There is no reason in the world, leaders of large corporations that employ lower wage workers, hourly workers, or part-time workers, that you can't give those people the dignity of taking care of themselves when they need to take care of themselves. No wonder you have high turnover. SHRM said SHRM, Society of Human Resource Management, said there's a trend toward giving employees a bank of paid days that can be used for any purpose, sick day, vacation day, or personal day. Again, all that's great. But here's what I wrote down. And this is what I want to talk about. When this type of situation is happening, it is leadership that is focused on policy, not people. There it is. You want to know how asinine, stupid policies like this happen and end up taking on a union negotiation over this? It's when a corporation goes, well, what's our policy on this? Now, some of you are going, Ken, you're being a little bit extreme. No, I'm not. I'm not saying that you shouldn't have policies, but policies ought to be focused on principles. If you have principle-based policies that are focused on people at the other end of your policy, then you will have good policy. So I'm not anti-policy. What I'm saying is when there's a focus on policy absent of people and thus a principle, then you have this kind of leadership activity and a lack of common sense. Here's my point. Somebody asked me the other day, Ken, what do you think about paternity leave for guys when their wife has a baby? Look, I don't think we need a policy there. This is my whole point. Why do we need a policy? How about we just allow leaders to make good people decisions? Hey, your wife is really struggling, had a C-section, can't get up and down your third floor apartment. You do what you need to do to take care of her until she gets to a point. That's people and principle based, not policy based.
Did you know that just like a product, you have a personal brand? It's the image or impression others form about you based on your interactions. And whether we realize it or not, our personal brand impacts opportunities to grow in our careers. That's why our team created the Personal Brand Survey. It's free, and it will give you personal and professional feedback so you can own your strengths and uncover any blind spots holding you back. To get started, Go to kencoleman.com/brand.
All right, I am self-proclaimed man of the people. I'm very aware of that. I need a belt. I need a wrestling belt, Alex. I feel like I need that. You know, one of those giant, professional wrestling belts that says man of the people. So I know I'm self-proclaimed. Why do I say that all the time? Well, number one, I like to have fun. Number two, I really want to remind you in a fun and entertaining way that I really am here on your behalf. And so the other day in our show meeting, Alex, the producer, and all the other people, they like this idea that we have for this. And so we're going to do this. So Forbes.com put out a Gen Z quiz. And this was the headline of the article in which the quiz is in. And I'm going to take it momentarily. And true to who I am, man of the people, I'm going to transparently take this quiz. I've not seen it. I'm going to see how well I know Gen Z. So what companies need to know about hiring Gen Z? The Z factor. This was the title of the article. So this is the youngest generation, so the generation now underneath millennials who are in the workforce. And it occurs to me, Alex, I should have been better prepared. I'm going to look this up because I want to be man of the people. Gen Z is what age group specifically, according to The Economist? Let's see. Who is Gen Z? This is man of the people stuff right here. Gen Z. Okay. This is people who were born in the mid to late 1990s and early 2010s. So that's the ending birth year. So mid to late 1990s to early 2010. So that is who we're talking about. And this generation is 10 to 25 years of age. That's where we stand right now. Okay, so obviously you got what? 21 to 25 in the workforce. That's what we're looking at. Okay, so here we go. So here's what we're going to do. Nathan, I am in your trusted hands, my friend. You are going to put up on the screen the quiz, and you're going to operate it because it's bad news when I'm operating anything and trying to talk, or quite frankly, do anything. According to my wife, she would like me not to talk on the phone and drive anymore. Alex, she proclaimed this to me the other day. She said, we're on a trip, and I like to make business calls when I'm on the road because it's time that I have to use. And apparently I'm as animated on the phone in the car as I am doing the show. And that's probably all I need to say. But she's like, and she's not being unkind. I don't want to paint safety. She's literally a slight bit concerned for her own safety is really what this is about. So all that said, Nathan, throw the screen. There it is. How well do you know your Zs? I'm going to take the quiz and see what I can learn. Now, this is about the Gen Z worker and their work needs and work preferences. So, Nathan, let's start it. He's going to throw it up there. I'll read the question and select, and Nathan will do the selecting. What do Gen Zs consider the worst part of starting a new job? Is it commuting to work, earning less than expected, job stress, or lack of work-life balance? I'm going to say the worst part of a new job would be a lack of work-life balance. I'm going to select that one. Let's see. There it is. Look, boy, we are quite the team, Nathan. Are there only 3 questions? Oh, this isn't a quiz. This is like a sampler. This is like the TGI Friday sampler. Give me 3 mozzarella sticks and 3 potato skins and 3 wings. I don't want that. I want the whole enchilada. Okay. Now, the reason I'm stalling is because I'm realizing with 3 questions, this is like that 3-question quiz where you take it home and you go, Mom, I got a 33 on the quiz. Well, it was 3 questions. All right, next question. Sorry. Gen Zs love technology, but also crave lots of communication and feedback from managers. That's true. What's their preferred way to get it? Texts and messaging platforms like IM and Slack, phone calls, face-to-face meetings. Boy, I got to tell you, I want to be puffed up and arrogant about how well I know this answer, but I'm afraid of that. I'm going to say, I'm going to try to tamp down my confidence, and I believe it's number 1, text and messaging platforms. I'm going to select that. I'll be shocked if that's not it, but I need to learn. Number 3, Gen Zs are new to the workplace, but they're eager to learn. Which of the following is not a top 3 skill they expect to learn from older colleagues? Work habits for success, work ethic, new career skills, demystify organizational procedures. This is a mouthful. I got to read it again, folks. I'm not a good test taker, so you're getting to see this live. I'm not a good test taker. So now, boy, this is a little bit more than I wanted to share. I struggle. Okay, I got to really break the question down. Which of the following is not a skill that they expect to learn? So, do they expect to learn work habits for success? I think so. Do they expect to learn work ethic, new career skills? I'm going to say that the answer is I'm going to say demystify organizational procedures. That just feels like a mouthful. All right. So now see my results. Oh, dear. What? Did I get it right? Wait a second. How well do you know your Z's? What do Gen Z consider the worst part of their starting to do? The correct is job stress. And I said lack of work-life balance. Okay, so oops. Gen Z struggle with handling job stress, working in a high-pressure environment. Working overtime and inability to manage stress are their top 3 causes of job burnout. Working in a high-pressure environment. Okay, so job stress. Okay. All right, second question. Oh, boy. I did not do well. Gen Zs love technology, but also crave lots of communication and feedback from managers. What's the preferred way to get it? I said text and messaging platforms. The correct answer is face-to-face meetings. Well, now this is exciting. I'm shocked by that, but that is really good. 83% of Gen Zs prefer in-person meetings with managers over other options. Okay. So okay. So now hold it right here, Nathan. This is partly because I'm afraid to see if I got a 0. This is really great news. And leaders out there, this is not what I would have expected because I got 3 kids that are Gen Zers. And they're always on their devices. I'm just harping on them. I put screen time on them to tell them when they got to get off. But I think it's because they've grown up with this and they've got a screen context for like their personal life and the way they do. But like they want to know where they stand and they really need that assurance of that parent or that teacher. That's really interesting. This is a good sign. All right, number 3. Did I make it? Oh my gosh. I got a 0. I got a 0. Did you get a 0, Alex? Gen Zs are new to the workplace, but they're eager to learn. Which of the following is not a top 3 skill? This was a slightly confusing question, if I might make an excuse here, because I'm just feeling terribly about this. The answer is work ethic. I guess they don't expect to learn that from older colleagues. I don't know why. Gen Z sees themselves as extremely driven self-starters. Even though work ethic didn't make the top 3, 41% of Gen Z still want to improve on this skill from older workers. So that's interesting. And let me tell you what this means. This is a great opportunity for leaders. Listen to me. You need to create a mentor-mentee relationship with Gen Zs when you hire them. Find a millennial or a Gen Xer like me, some old geezer, right? And pair them up. One of the things that I find to be so wildly overused is the mentor-mentee relationship. And it doesn't have to be the old man on top of the mountain that people climb to see. But my daughter goes to a private school in this area, and they have connected Josie as a 7th grader with a junior or a senior. And I think she's got a junior girl and is her mentor, and they have lunch once a week. And the older student's job is just to check in on Josie. How you doing? And based on that result right there, leaders, you would do well when you hire Gen Z. Don't make it like you have to do this or you need this, but make it available to them. And I think you might be shocked at how well that might work. Wow. Well, I told you, Alex, that I was not a good test taker. I never have been, and I never will be. But this is great. Here's why we did that. Leaders, you need to be in tune to what they want. You do. And by the way, that goes for your millennials, your Gen Xers, your boomers if you're leading boomers. What makes these people tick? Why wouldn't you want that as a leader to meet their human needs? This is the Ken Coleman Show.
If the thought of attending a networking event makes you break out in hives, you're not alone. And I'll let you in on a secret. Networking in the traditional sense doesn't work, but genuine connection is all about relationships. That's why we created Networking the Right Way. This free guide is the low-pressure, high-impact way to overcome the awkwardness, build real relationships, and turn your connections into opportunities. To get the guide, go to kencoleman.com/network.
All right, folks, welcome back to the Ken Coleman Show, coaching you up every day so that you can beat the competition, even when the competition is you, the you of yesterday. We want you to get that competitive edge. More income, more impact. That's what we deliver here. That is our aim, for you to experience more meaning while making more money. Landon is up next in Dallas, Texas. Landon, you're on the Ken Coleman Show.
Hi, Ken. Thank you for taking my call.
You bet. What's up?
So I'm 1 year out of college, and I've worked that entire year in higher education as a budget manager for a department.
Okay.
I didn't go to college for accounting, but I took the job because it allowed me to do something else that I really love, which is my passion. The school has asked me to build a program around that passion without a raise, no promotion in job title, and the only thing I would get is a prospect of a promotion or a raise in the future, and my work week would go from 40 to 50 hours a week. I don't think I'm compensated enough to show appreciation for the value I bring to the company, but I know that Gen Z and millennials also have the stigma around them of being lazy, and I don't know if I'm falling into that stigma by not wanting to work harder. So my question is, am I lazy for not wanting to work for more than 40 hours a week?
No, you're not lazy. And I'm not sure you're anything that is a negative label. What I think you're experiencing, if you'll allow me to not label you this, but I think what you're experiencing is a bit of entitlement. Now, that does not mean that I think you're entitled. I don't think you're an entitled brat. That person wouldn't call me and ask the question that you asked. I think it's a function of age. In other words, immaturity, and I don't use it as a negative label again, just a lack of life experience. I just think it puts you in that situation where you're going, wait a second, this is this thing that I'm passionate about. It's my dream. It's what I want to do. And I talk about it, and the school goes, wow, that's really great. We'd like you to create that program. And that should all be things that you're throwing a party about. And yet you're considering not doing it because you don't think you're compensated enough, and you're going to have to put 10 more hours a week into it. I'll only tell you how I see it. When you told me that, I was like, this is freaking awesome. Here's an opportunity for you to do what you love. And you even mentioned that long-term, there's a prospective promotion, and with that, a bump in pay. But it's not about the prospective promotion and the bump in pay. It's about doing what you're passionate about and fulfilling your purpose. And the pay and the promotion are going to take care of themselves. And the school is giving you the opportunity to do it. In other words, that's credibility when a college lets you build anything. In other words, you're getting their stamp of approval. Feels like to me it's fast forwarding your dream, and the only thing you can see is 10 more hours with no pay. And I'm just going to tell you, I'm old school. I'm going to be the first to admit that I'm old fashioned. I look at that and I go, yippee-ki-yay, let's go, baby. I'll earn the money later. That's how I see it. What am I missing?
Okay.
What am I missing? Be honest with me. I don't mind if you disagree with me. What am I missing?
I think the hard part for me is I realize I'm early in my career, but doing what I've learned through this company in budget management and the other job as well through the program I want to build, I could do one of those 2 full-time jobs worth of work at another company for more pay.
Great. But why'd you call me? And this program is something that you want to do. It's a dream, you said. Yes or no?
It is. It is something I want to do, and it's a dream. But I'm worried that...
But what? You're worried about what?
I guess my fear is that if I give up this opportunity, I won't have an opportunity in the future to do that. And I guess I'm afraid of, I guess, not moving forward with this program or in this field.
So then go do it.
Field.
So go do it and prove it.
Okay.
It's what you want to do. You've told me that. I don't know what you're worried about. Yeah, I know you could go make money somewhere else and make more money for the amount of time you do, but that's not what this is about. I don't even know what it is, so I'm in the dark and I don't have time to unpack it. But you've got this program that you want to build, and it's your dream, and it's your future, and it's what you want to do, and the school is saying, we're going to let you do it. Meaning giving you the playground, the sandbox to do it. How is that not exciting you out of your mind? I'll tell you how. Because you're focused on pay instead of purpose. And in this situation, they're not being unkind or unfair. They're giving you an opportunity to do it. Go earn it. Go prove it. And if you go prove it, you get paid for it. And if they won't pay you for it, you have proven it, and other colleges probably will. True or false?
No, that's true.
I feel like this is a great opportunity, one that you said, I'm worried if I don't take it. And I'm telling you to take it. Straightforward, folks. Do you believe in you? If you believe in you, invest in yourself. Pay it forward, and the school's giving you the opportunity. Do I wish that they were paying you? Sure, but I wish for a lot of things. A Lamborghini, for instance.
So you just landed the new job. Congratulations. You've made it past the interviews, and now it's time to onboard with excellence. That's why I created How to Stand Out at Your New Job. This free checklist will help you succeed from day one and may even help you get promoted. These practical steps set you up to add value, help your team win, exceed your leaders' expectations, and ultimately set you up for a successful transition. To get started, just go to kencoleman.com/new.
All right, how many of you have ever experienced something new, maybe something recently? Maybe it was a television show, a movie, a book, a recipe, a restaurant, whatever. And after you experienced it, you couldn't talk about it enough. It changed your whole perspective. That's why I want you to try ZipRecruiter. It's a free resource to you. So first of all, folks, I'm not selling you socks. And it's not a bait and switch. You're going to go sign up and then they bill you every month. It's none of that. It's free to you. Why? Companies pay ZipRecruiter. Companies. They're paying ZipRecruiter to go, hey, we know you've got talent and people that want jobs, and we want to know how we can get access to them. And Zip said, well, we got the system. ZipRecruiter.com/Ken, ZipRecruiter.com/Ken. I don't know why you would not add it to your strategy to at least let them go out there and work for you while you do your life and you decide if it's something you want to pursue. ZipRecruiter.com/Ken, ZipRecruiter.com/Ken. Albany, Georgia is where we go next. Paul is on the line. Paul, you're on the Ken Coleman Show.
Hey, Ken, thanks for taking my call.
You bet, sir. What's up?
So, I got a question for you. So, I have never worked in a union setting, and I do work for I'm not a union member, but the guys that work for me are. So, in the trying to lead them, what is the best way to do so? Because there's always a certain fine line in between union and non-union, and I'm just really trying to figure out a way that I can lead these guys without being, the bad guy.
Yeah. Can you tell me some specific leadership challenges that you want my help on with these union guys?
Well, just most of the time from all that I've heard here, that these guys have had bad leaders in the past, and just haven't been able to connect with their leaders. They've just been, like a tyrant for the most part. And just trying to lead these guys and, let them know that, I'm here for them, to support them and do everything that I can. But then in the end, I don't want them to feed me to the wolves at the end of the day either.
Yeah, I like this question a lot. You're new in this role, yes?
Yes.
How long you been in the job?
Well, this company that I'm with now, I've been here since January.
Okay.
I was working in manufacturing, doing practically the same job in a non-union plant for 22 years. So it's quite a different change for me coming here.
Yeah. Okay. Well, this is the advice I'm going to give you is true whether you're leading union guys or not from a non-union position, because there's the rub there, right? But
right.
You already began to answer your own question when you said that you've talked to these guys and they've never had a real legitimate relationship with their leader. It's always been a tyrant thing. And that's in the shadow of, so that style of authoritarian dictator, my way, the highway, is in the shadow of an already fractured relationship because, there's only certain things you can do. My guess is that the authoritarian has limited authority because of the union. So a non-union leader can't just, hire, fire, penalize. They can't do that because of the union relationship and the representation. So all that together has always led to a very, I can't think of another way to say it other than just an unpleasant relationship with leadership figures. So my advice is that you need to love these guys and stop worrying about leading them. And I would love them first, and then they will follow you, whether you're a union guy or not. Because let me tell you this, you can be a hardened union guy and be union all the way and all that stuff and still get up in the politics, but they could also know, you know what? Paul cares about us. I've never worked for a guy in my life like Paul who is trying to help me win. Paul is trying to help me win. He's not just trying to help me win in the job. Paul cares about what's going on in my personal life. And the guy just cares about all of us. That would be my desire for you, for people to say that about you.
Okay.
And I'm going to give you some specific tips, but I don't think I have to tell you much. I think you get that. So in other words, the exercise for you tonight, before you go to bed and tomorrow morning, first thing, I want you to repeat this exercise. I want you to ask yourself the question, what must be true for these union workers to know that I care about them?
Okay.
Answer that question. Not right now, but answer that question. And listen, this isn't a talking tour. This is day in and day out asking these questions. What can I do to help you win?
Okay.
How's everything going in your personal life? Everything good?
So far, everything's good.
No, I'm not asking you. I'm telling you that's the question you asked them. You see what I'm saying? It's how are you doing and how can I help you win? Meet them where they are, brother. Help them win.
Okay.
There are certain things you can't do anyway. So, and showing them that you care for them, then they will begin to trust you.
Okay.
And when they begin to trust you, watch, they'll actually follow you, whether you're a union leader or a non-union leader. Does that make sense? I want to pause and let you ask any questions, but I'm not trying to oversimplify it. That really is the answer.
No, I like simple. But yes, that makes all the sense in the world, and since I've listened to several shows, on my way to work and coming here and try to apply those same things with these guys for that simple reason, just to be able to have them to trust me, because that's all I really want in the end, is for them to trust me. Let them know that I'll do my best for them, and in return, that's what I ask of them in return.
But see, they'll give you that if you give it to them first. In other words, they will return the serve. But you have to lead, and you've got to love them.
That's right.
I think leadership strategies are great. We teach it. We got Entree Leadership, a wildly popular podcast. I'm part of the Ramsey Network. I teach on that stage. I'm going to be teaching leaders next week. I'm passionate about teaching leadership principles. I'm passionate about helping leaders grow in their leadership, because you can grow.
Yes.
But all of the books and all of the tips and all of the conferences and all of the podcasts and all of that stuff, it will not work if you don't truly love the people you lead. I'm taking on golf right now, Paul, and it's wildly frustrating at times and exhilarating at others. And you know what I've learned, Paul, about golf, and it's true of leadership?
What's that?
I can't fix my slice, my hook, or anything. I can't hit the ball longer, straighter until I master the art of just making solid contact with the ball. Make sense?
That's right. I
got to learn to hit the ball on the sweet spot of the club first. And the more consistent I get with that, then I can work on learning how to hit a fade or a draw, or work on my distance control. In other words, the minutia and the expertise of the golf game, you can't get any of that until you learn how to consistently make good contact with the ball. The same is true of leadership. To be a great leader and to work on strategy and move a team, you can't do any of that at all until you love people to the point that they begin to trust you. And when they trust you because of how you love them and care for them and see them as human beings first, until that's established, they will not truly trust you. But the great news is when that's established and they trust you, then they'll follow you. That's a masterclass in leadership, I'm just going to go ahead and tell you. Because it is the simplification of what leadership is about, which is loving your people. So, love, then lead. Got it?
Got it.
Paul, I think you're going to revolutionize that team of union workers. I think you are.
I hope so.
Now, here's the deal, Paul. Well, no, you can't say I hope so. You got to say I know it. Now, here's what I don't know. I don't know how quick you're going to turn the ship around. I would suspect it's going to take you a little bit longer, and you're going to have to commit to loving these folks even when they don't love you back, and just sticking with it. Like that troubled teen who's just trying to push you away and push you away and push you away, and you go, you can keep on pushing me away, but I ain't going to stop showing up and loving on you. And one of these days, you're going to realize I'm the real deal. And that's going to take some time, especially in this environment where they got way more history than you have time with them. But you hang in there and you stay with it. Don't you dare stop, and it'll turn. I promise. You matter. You have what it takes. Press on.
Thanks for listening to The Ken Coleman Show. For more, you can find the show on demand wherever you listen to podcasts and watch the show on YouTube. You can also find Ken across all social media by following @Ken Coleman.